So I'd like to introduce a gentleman by the name of Anthony Rose, who you may have met at our session before in New York, if you happen to be in New York. And Anthony is someone who also is like Anthony Wood. He has a vision. He does what he says he's going to do, both of gentlemen, but they do it in a big way. And besides launching zeebox within the last year and getting huge amounts of traction and press because of the really high quality work that his team generates, he also was behind the launch and the success and the saving of the BBC through the iPlayer. The iPlayer has been a formidable presence in Europe for delivering video streaming and has really been at the foundation of discovering why TV everywhere and video streaming in general is a successful format for all of the connected TV experience. So I want to welcome to the show Anthony Wood. I'm sorry, Anthony Rose. Anthony? Anthony? Thank you.
For the fantastic intro. We're just making a few tweaks to the finding the clicker for the slide deck. So let me get started. We'll add slides in a few minutes' time. Seems like a doctor's surgery here, and they're wheeling in the defibrillator. So, all right, this is catchily titled "Welcome to the App Graveyard," and we see, the rise of connected companion screen viewing. Every man and his dog is out there making a companion screen application, and the problem is, how does this play out? There are several possibilities. Possibility number one: if you're a broadcaster or a program maker, you create an application for your program. And today, that's sustainable. When you switch to X Factor, when you switch to a program on TV...
That's your booth.
Cool. Thank you. I'm just going to do that one. Yeah. Okay, we're sorted. All right, so you're a broadcaster, you're a TV program maker, you want an app for your program, you want to engage with the audience on the second screen, you want to have interactive advertising, and you need a social media strategy. So what do? Instinctively, you build an app for it. Now, that for the consumer is okay when there are 1 or 2 apps a week on TV that you need to download. But imagine every time you switch channels, you have to get an app for it. It's not sustainable for you as a consumer. And for the broadcaster or the program maker, if you need to create a new app for each program and get it through iTunes, get it on Android, and make a website, that's seriously hard work. So there's an alternate view, and that view is to say, for the consumer, you download a single application that you use across all TV programs. Of course, that program or that app, how does that work with the broadcaster or the program maker? So I think there's an opportunity here for a new platform in this really emerging, nascent industry that we're all here, all wondering what the future is. Can there be an application that knows a little bit about everything on TV, that has an extensible architecture that allows broadcasters and program makers to plug into that app? For the consumer, it's a seamless guide and a way to engage, and for the broadcaster or program maker, it's a way to get back analytics and an easy way to publish across lots of programs. And that's really what we're trying to do with zeebox. So zeebox is about 60 people based in the UK, in London, Covent Garden. We're looking to launch in the US around 60 days from now. We've been live in the UK since November with an iPad version, then we had an iPhone, an Android, and a website version. And it's going phenomenally well. Excuse me while more surgery is done on our presentation. Okay, while it does that, let me talk very briefly about the types of companion screen applications that you might expect. As a consumer, we asked a panel of 5,000 people what they would like for a second screen application. And people told us that broadly, although we talk about social TV, everyone's talking about social TV. In fact, it turns out the average punter isn't interested in social as much as a whole lot of information things. So number one, can I get more information around what's playing on television? Who's the actor? What's the recipe? Number two, can I get links to more episodes? So you've had that desire created to watch an episode of Glee, Top Gear, or whatever. How do I get to more episodes? And for an MSO operator, broadcaster, that link from live to on-demand is an opportunity to get people moving to your premium content. And the next thing people said is there a way for me to buy things that I see on TV? And buying things you see on TV doesn't sound cool or sexy, but the reality is the advertiser has created this huge demand on the TV screen and can now be satisfied with a single-click purchase. Okay, so as you look across this amazingly noisy app screen space, I think it's worthwhile to look at the class of applications that exist. And I think they fall into 4 classes. Class number 1 is an application to help you find things to watch. And as there's more and more content available, the task for the consumer to find something to watch this evening gets harder and harder. And today, when you get home, you'll go to your hotel or go home, and you'll sit there mindlessly flipping through channels on your TV looking for something to watch. And that's the way it is today, but it's kind of a terrible proposition. Is there a way to just get a small set of things for you delivered straight to you? So thing number 1 is finding something to watch. And by the way, at this point, let me segue to connected TVs, smart TVs versus second screen. So obviously in this conference, we hear a lot about the future delivered on a TV set. We talk about the future delivered on a mobile phone. How does this play out? And I was a big fan of connected TVs. With iPlayer, I sought to get iPlayer content, video on demand on every connected TV. But since then, my enthusiasm has waned because the problem with connected TVs, apart from the fact that they're very slow update cycles and so on, it turns out that at least in Europe, there's a big battle between broadcasters and device manufacturers to sort of own the user on that TV. And the reality is, although they're called smart TVs, as of today, you buy your new shiny smart TV, and they're sort of divided into 2 halves. On the one side, you've got live TV with the same crappy remote control there's always been, and you flip through channels. And the other end, there's the apps area, a simple 18 clicks away. And it seems that the TV manufacturers are trying to own that consumer in future. Instead of merely being a video conduit, they now say in this new world, we can own the user. They'll come to our apps area. Of course, the broadcasters are not wild about that proposition. And as a result, this has bifurcated the split experience, which makes it really, really hard to navigate. Now, it's quite possible Apple, Google, somebody will radically change that model. But in the meantime, it seems to me that your TV becomes this beautiful, high-def, thin plasma experience controlled by a second screen. And the second screen is where you do your navigation. And ultimately, this mobile tablet is where you engage. It has your recommendations. It has your friends. It has content just for you. And the TV is slave to that device and plays that content. And actually, in the future, when you click to play something that your friend has recommended or a trusted authority, a broadcaster has recommended, it's not going to matter whether that plays over broadcast or it plays over cable or it plays over the top of the internet. Your TV is going to faithfully play live, on demand, the set of things, the desire that's being created on the second screen. So that second screen, for me, becomes really, really important. Now, if it was just about finding things to watch, that's really great. That's a new EPG. And we were surprised, by the way, when we started zeebox. We got really focused on the social and the information. And it turned out the response from consumers was, give me a better program guide. And it seems for all this visionary thing in the future, what people want, there's a clear demand for just a better way to find things. But if you just give people a better way to find things, the problem is your app is going to have about 30 seconds of activity. People are going to find something, and then they're going to put it away, and they're going to go back to what we see today, which is 80% of people will regularly watch TV, with their smartphone in front of them, but they'll be doing email, Facebooking, tweeting. And if you want people to remain in your app, then you need to keep them engaged. So the second thing that an app does, in my view, is it needs to keep you engaged while you're watching. And that's that mixture of information, social, transactional, and so on. The next thing an app needs to do is to control your TV or set-top box. And that brings that magical, you explore here, you play there. And of course, in the future, it doesn't matter where the content will play either. But remote control for us in zeebox has been a USP. We've spent a lot of time. Europe is a lot more about free-to-air television. So in the UK, if you have a Sony, Samsung, LG, Toshiba TV, we find it acts as a remote control, as well as a bunch of set-top boxes. And in the US, the key thing is going to be remote controlling set-top boxes for us. And then I think the last thing for a companion app in the sort of broad class of things they should do is transactional, particularly second screen advertising. Now, TV advertising has been the same for decades. And of all the parties we've looked at, who's most eager to embrace the second screen? Obviously with notwithstanding consumers. Is it broadcasters? Is it MSOs? Is it device manufacturers? We found the fastest moving to be digital media agencies and advertisers. And when they sell, at least in the UK, an ad on TV, that's monetized at about half a penny per view. It's not, you can't target, there's no frequency capping per user, there's no auction system. But compare that with Google and the internet. It's about 50 cents per click. Click versus view is not the same thing, but it's targetable. There's an auction system. You can reach not just a household, but a viewer in the household. So advertisers have been super enthusiastic about the opportunities of the second screen. And one of the things you'll see is it's not just the obvious synchronized advertising, but there are a whole lot of new derivative things that can come from it. So to get back to the title of the slide, the app graveyard, it turns out that broadcasters have been creating apps for their programs for some years now. And some networks have got over 200 apps. And those are apps that when the season ends, they go into the app graveyard. And for the consumer, how many can you fit on your iPhone desktop before it moves out into screen 4, 5, 6, or whatever it is? They're expensive to maintain. So let me tell you then what we are doing to address that. So we launched zeebox in the UK. Fantastic press, great usage, people love it. The proposition is iPhone, iPad, Android, web, and second-by-second augmentation. So I think a key thing for us is that we try to ingest live TV and bring you information related to what's playing. And to do that, in the same way that you think Google spiders the internet, we spider live television. So we stick up aerials, we ingest the closed caption, the speech, across all channels, 80 channels in the UK, 150 plus channels in the US. And as somebody says something on each channel, on any program, our servers pick it up. In addition, we use video fingerprinting, so we can recognize an ad within about 3 seconds of the ad starting. And we're trialing song recognition as well. So if a song plays on any channel, the server picks it up. But importantly, this is all done server-side. So this is not you holding out your iPhone, taking pictures of your TV, waiting for the sound, and so on. This happens on our servers. So we know what's playing second by second, and we can bring a set of, I guess, keywords, tags, we call them Z tags, related to what's playing on TV. So as somebody says something on TV, second by second, our servers use natural language processing. We work out, is it a place, is it a person, is it a country, whatever it might be. And we then run searches to bring you Wikipedia information, Google or Bing News, iTunes downloads. If you're on an iPhone or iPad, we'll find you downloads from the iTunes store. If you're on an Android device, it'll be from Google Play or Samsung Store or wherever. But importantly, linking to MSOs or premium content catalogs, you can satisfy that consumer need. So while you're watching something or somebody speaks about something, you can bring people related content, which can be premium content as well. So I think the information part is something we've worked really hard on. We've got about 150 AWS cloud-hosted servers, an entirely cloud-hosted system that provides us information. Now, getting back to the platform play, just before Christmas, B bought 10% of zeebox in the UK. And one of the things we've done is everything you see in zeebox is available in an API form. So we provide Sky with access to everything you see, and they're building their own enhanced Sky Plus application. So the Sky Plus application has been fantastic at helping Sky users find things to watch and book things to watch. But of course, as soon as you clicked on a program in your Sky Plus guide, the only thing you could do, you hit a roadblock, was, book to watch. But now with their new zeebox enhanced version, that MSO will be able to provide an enhanced experience that takes their app from being something used for a few minutes during the day for planning to something that's used during the evening for watching. So let me take you through a few screenshots showing you the basic zeebox proposition, and then the discussion I mentioned about the platform player, about how broadcasters and so on can engage with it. So it seems to me what you're looking at here is something like that sort of program guide of the future. These are programs on your TV right now for your provider, for your zip code. And these are based on things that you like, things you've watched before, things your friends are watching, things that are buzzing on Twitter. And it seems to me in this crazy world of unlimited content in the future, how are you going to know what you want to watch? Just giving people access to more and more content. You've seen those guides or those video-on-demand sites that say 75,000 programs and you wade through them. You want it presented with a small list of things. Some of them are featured. We know that these are key things that have been enhanced. Some of them you can see the buzz or the audience. So one of the things we do, by the way, which we make available to partners, is when you use zeebox, if you log in with Twitter or Facebook, we import your social graph, and we then create a presence system. So we know what you are watching, we know what your friends are watching. And this is a real-time presence system. We show the channel that your friends are watching, and we show them what you're watching. If you don't want people to see what you're watching, you can turn on the privacy settings and go silent. But importantly, every 60 seconds, zeebox is posting an event, who's watching what. And so we have real-time analytics. You hear about the Nielsen killer or the Barb killer in the UK and so on. We don't aspire to be that. The entire industry relies on that. But at some point, these sort of real-time analytics available instantly, every 60-second updating, matched to Facebook profile, demographic information, and so on, is really going to be, a game changer. So, this is what we call My TV. In the evenings, you're going to pick up your iPad or iPhone or whatever it is, and there'll be a nice list of things for you to watch. Now, if you don't want that sort of My TV and you want something more familiar, we also have a regular program guide view. So here we present it as a list of channels in a regular order. These are UK channels. But you can see against each channel program, these are all the ones on now, and you can scroll up or down to get more channels, or left and right for the previous program and so on. You can see what your friends are watching. So you can see your friends' icons right there. And as they change channel, their icons move around in the interface. And because we know what everyone's watching second by second, we can draw those orange graphs. The orange graphs are the audience share, I guess, the normalized audience share for that program. So when you get home and you're looking for something to watch, you can find, what is everyone watching? What are my friends watching? And you can click on somebody, it'll pop up with an icon, you can watch with them, you can invite them to watch with you. And you can sort your program guide at the top by what's most popular now, what are my friends watching? Now, one of the things we do, obviously you've always got a getting started problem. Whenever you start a new social proposition, you need to bring it to life. And we do that by finding celebrities. So our servers have a list of about 1,000 media celebrities, and we track them on Twitter. And if they tweet about a program that's on TV right now, we bring them to your virtual couch. So here's Richard Hammond. I don't know Richard Hammond personally, but he's watching or he's tweeting about Top Gear, and Top Gear happens to be on TV right now. So we bring him onto the virtual couch. And if I click on him, I can then click to Watch with Richard. And if I click Watch with Richard, my TV or set-top box will change channels to that program. My friends will see I've moved to that program. And that whole social discovery piece, the wheels are set in motion. Now, in the history of television, once upon a time, you had to sit in front of your TV if you wanted to watch it. And then PVR's recording was invented, and you could book to watch. But when you book to watch, you were booking for yourself. Imagine the next step forward is when you book to watch a program, it says, who would you like to book with? And so you'll not only book a series record for PVRing, you'll also say, I'd like to watch with these friends. And they will all get a push notification, they'll get a message. The other thing you know is when you're watching TV, sometimes you want to shout, this is terrible, this is brilliant, come and watch with me. So we provided a shout-out feature. And you hit shout out, and it can send your shout to the zeebox network. It can send it to Facebook, post it on Twitter just with one click, and you can edit that message. So it's a great way of getting people to come. And what we've noticed is talent, TV celebrities love this feature. They love zeebox because celebrities, as you know, always like to increase their Twitter following. And I guess it's a challenge for broadcasters. The broadcasters are trying to get people to their channel, and their celebrities are trying to take people off to their Twitter following accounts. But the problem is, when you tweet about a program as a celebrity, there's no destination for your tweet. So best you can say is loving Glee, but where do people go? Well, when people tweet from within zeebox, zeebox adds the URL, tens of thousands of people come literally within seconds, and essentially that celebrity becomes the new DJ, maybe it's the VJ of the future, guiding people to a program that they want to watch. So we found that talent agencies are now bringing around celebrities who love using these kind of features. So far it's all been about program discovery. But now click on a program to go and watch it. And ZBox flips over to the program page. And the program page is really where you're now going to hold your iPad or iPhone hopefully in front of you while you watch. And we bring you, regular metadata information. We bring you links to cast and crew and all the sort of information stuff you'd like. We bring you tweets, but unlike a regular Twitter client, we create tribes. So you're watching a football match, you can get tweets from team A or B, or you can just get the celebrity tweets. Down the bottom, we do a search for related content, so from iTunes, from Google Play, from other sources. Are there more movies? Are there ebooks and so on? It turns out there's an unbelievable amount of information related to programs you're watching. But I think the secret sauce is those Z tags on the right. And this is this ticker, and as our servers are watching TV, watching the program you're watching, and people talk about things, these tags tick in. And so let's say you're watching Top Gear and Gwyneth Paltrow's been on, and I click on Gwyneth Paltrow. I will get a screen built instantly for that topic. And our servers have built over 500,000 of these screens. So again, information. Now, this is a great way, whether it be a recipe or a car or a person, to get more information. And it turns out people go on these nice surfing expeditions around what's playing. It's quite addictive. If it happens to be an ad on TV, our ads video fingerprinting system will recognize the ad. And it's done by pattern recognition, and our editorial team then assign, or an advertiser using DoubleClick for Publishers can assign an ad, a second screen ad, against an ad that's playing on TV. Now, sometimes the click is as simple as take you to Amazon. So there's the movie camcorder advertised on TV, and this fulfills a basic consumer desire, just let me buy it. And by taking it, in this case, to Amazon, you're going to get comparative pricing and pretty much the best prices with a single click purchase. And this is done, again, by our servers recognizing it. Now, I think what's really interesting going forward is, although this is just the beginning, click to buy, Sky Media, which is the largest TV, one of the largest TV ad sales companies in the UK, has exclusive ad sales in ZBox. So rather than us being small and disruptive and going out and saying, we'll change everything, in fact, the largest TV advertisers are now going out and selling first and second screen. And they can do all sorts of things, including allowing an ad to obviously be synchronized on the second screen like this. But even doing things so that if somebody mentions a word on TV, an advertiser can buy a mention of a word across any TV channel. So to give you an example, Gillette sponsor Roger Federer, the tennis player. Imagine Gillette, in the same way you can buy a Google AdWord, imagine Gillette could buy the word Roger Federer. Anytime somebody says it, they could sponsor that word. And when you click on it, then it will bring you information. Roger Federer is sponsored by Gillette. So these kind of revolutionary advertising things will become available. Okay, so I think what you've seen is a lot of smart servers and technology trying to enhance TV. But the reality is we know only a little bit about each program, and the broadcaster, program maker, knows all about their program. So how can we party together? And we call this OpenBox. So OpenBox is a plugin architecture that around a given show, parts of the page in ZBox can be taken over by a partner. And this is a very nice HTML5 plugin system, together with some editorial tools we've created called Mission Control. And I must say, in the UK, this has spawned an entire industry. We had an industry event day where we targeted and went out and found the companies that make second screen apps for broadcasters. And we worked with them to create versions of their second screen apps delivered within ZBox. So for them, it's a new business enabler. When they go out to a broadcaster to build apps for them, they can deliver it, of course, in the way that they normally do, but additionally or separately, just within ZBox at really low cost. And with our mission control tools, broadcasters can log in and create their own ad tags. They can make sure it only links to their content, their premium content. So it's a really great win-win. Now let me show you a few examples. With Britain's Got Talent, with the awards, we worked with MasterCard and the broadcaster provide some exclusive backstage video. And you can see it's sponsored by MasterCard. So you click, you get backstage video. With Gotta Dance, a Sky production, Sky went further. And what they did was super cool and a lot of fun. They found the winners of last year's episode, two crazy guys called Chris and Wes. They put them in a studio. They gave them an iPad, and you can see he's looking at the iPad with zeebox running on the iPad. And while the show was playing on TV, these guys were providing an alternate commentary. So you would wind down the soundtrack on your TV, and you'd wind up the sound on your iPad or iPhone, and you get this alternative video playing with commentary. And because these guys weren't on television, they weren't bound by the niceties of TV, and they could have the crazy commentary. It was a bit of a mental overload, winding the channel's sound up and down, but it was an enormous amount of fun. So when it comes to sport programs, we know people love stats, they love the live blogging, they love to be able to follow their teams. So for sports programs, here's how we enhance a match. And one of the things we did recently for the FA Cup final is we produced, working with companion screen app makers, they delivered their applications within zeebox. So instead of building a separate app for that program, using HTML5, there was the Be the Ref widget. And the Be the Ref widget was really cool. You'd click foul or whatever, it would blow a whistle, and you would get, you can see down the bottom right, audience feedback as well. So instead of millions of people watching alone at home, you could watch with others. It was sponsored by Budweiser, program sponsorship. You could win the ball match with ESPN. So a whole lot of parties came together to make these kind of propositions possible. And you could vote and so on as well. Similar concept with The Voice and, Be Will I Am and vote along. So I'll wrap up with one or two more, and this is with The Simpsons. So The Simpsons, obviously, there's no voting with The Simpsons. It's not so much social, but the concept with The Simpsons is the broadcaster, in this case Sky, how do we get more people watching? How do we, get reach and engagement? And to do that, the concept is about sharing. We know all those Simpsons moments, and so the idea is we've created about 40 different Simpsons moments, Dope and all the other ones, spent ages getting Fox approval, and now launched just a couple of days ago for the next few months. When you watch The Simpsons in the UK with Sky, you get these shareable moments, and you can share them on Pinterest, Facebook, and so on. So a huge range of possibilities. And of course, everything you see is available to our partners. Analytics are available. Fantastic analytics, not possible with traditional analytics methods. So I think to wrap up, as we look at this amazingly noisy space, how's it going to play out? And I think, my take is a cross-channel application that consumers can sit and use as a guide, but actually one that allows an entire ecosystem to develop around it. And I think in the same way, Facebook's been obviously amazingly successful because it allowed for this platform that people could work within. Companies can create Facebook fan pages and so on. Is there a more targeted version available for that for television? Something that knows about schedules, about programming, about providers, about zip codes, and does all that nasty work, but then brings these experiences, the right ones for the right consumer, to them and connects with their friends. So thank you very much. And if you'd like to do any Q&A and we've got time, I would be delighted. Thank you.
This is very impressive. So what's your business model? How does zeebox actually make money?
So the two key things are second screen advertising and affiliate purchases. So generally, when people buy something through zeebox, you'll very briefly see a link share or a trade doubler URL flash by, and most of those from iTunes, most stores and so on, an affiliate fee is payable. Now that's modest initially, hopefully grows, but I think the key thing is second screen advertising. And the size of the TV ad industry is absolutely enormous, $70+ billion a year. That will, obviously tiny, but growing on the second screen as advertisers look to, I think very aggressively, look to create new forms of advertising. But I think the key thing with second screen advertising is not to try and be poking and disrupting an existing industry, but to open it up to allow the broadcaster, whoever's selling, the ad sales team selling that first screen advertising for $70 billion a year, to go, how can we enhance that? How can we let you sell with one click the demand that you're creating on the first screen? So, we've been astounded by the amount of enthusiasm from that digital community. Question back there. Right, that's a really great question.
For the video, the differences between the UK market and the US market as you land on our shores.
Right, great question. Maybe the question's slightly premature for me because we're not launched yet, but broadly, I think in Europe, it's slightly more about free-to-air television versus cable and so on here. I think number two, there's probably in Europe more of a channel affinity. People know the BBC, whereas here it's perhaps more of a program affinity. But I think beyond that, I don't think there are substantial changes. Clearly, there's a lot more technical work with time zone differences and things like that. That's just technology. The key thing is the consumer proposition. And sorry, on remote controlling, here very few people actually play video where the TV is a receiver. It all comes through a set-top box. So, working with set-top boxes as remote control in the US is key. Questions? All right, I'm told we're done. So thank you very much.